Aquarius, how you doing? Welcome to your first of two monthly readings for May on the Astroflower. Welcome. They're going to be, the reason why I'm doing two is because I'm going to start doing the monthly readings according to the star signs. Simply because according to the Astroflower, obviously each sign has its own elements, has its own qualities, and that will affect your sign as we go through that period of that sign in question. At the moment, we're going through Taurus, so we will be looking at that, the combination of the Astroflower of Taurus and the Astroflower of Aquarius. And then later on, in 3 weeks' time, we'll do another reading, which will be in according to Gemini. Okay, so yes, without further ado, welcome to the Astroflower family. Thank you very much for being here. Let's just have a look at your flower. Here it is here. Obviously, you are a fixed sign. You're also designated an air sign. But with the Astroflower, there's only 4 pure signs in the Astroflower: Pisces, Aries, Virgo, and Libra. And all the rest of the signs are made up of 2 elements, really. And for Aquarius, it's made up of air on your surface, but also water, because you are the water bearer. You are John the Baptist, if you like, in the biblical sort of stories. And it's all about baptizing. It's all about starting new and everything. And so you can see in your flower, you've got the squares for fixed, triangles for cardinal energies, and circles for mutable energies. So you've got this fire that goes around you. Fire. You've got this air that goes around you. And then you have this water, which is at your base. And as you can see on your flower, there's 2 particular things that jump out straight away. On your relationship side, you mainly have cardinal energies. And on your financial side, you mainly have mutable energies. So this gives us a different approach to our relationship or our personal or spiritual or emotional side of life, which is the cardinal energy within you. And on the financial side, projects, building, that sort of thing, everything connected with the material world. And you can see that on the mutable side on this side here. There is other things that you should really notice as well, that within your sign, there's not a great deal, within the center, there's not a great deal of air. There is 2 air petals. You can see that down here with the fixed air, which comes in from Scorpio. And Scorpio has got 2/3 water and 1/3 air. It's almost the opposite of you. And fixed signs tend to be in a right angle in the way of their elements to the previous one before, as it were. Once we start getting into sort of Taurus and or the previous one or the one in front, and Taurus and Leo are exactly the same sort of scenario. So you do have this quality of fixed air coming in from Scorpio, but you also have this mutable air that comes in from Sagittarius, which also feeds your karmic path on your financial side of life. Okay. And the other thing we should notice as well is that there is a lot of water, hence that water aspect of yourselves, but also a lot of fire. You have a great deal of passion in your life, and it's certainly I would say much more on the spiritual side of things in your life. It tends to give you a direction, which is this energy that comes in from Aries, which comes straight through you and sort of gives you that sort of passionate direction in according to your spirit, according to your emotions, according to your relationships. It tends to be very direct, and it seems to be very clear for you of what the path you would like to take through your karmic path. It should be very clear for you, and that's what you'd like to see reproduced in the outcome. Now, there is 2 other elements that sort of play in, which is the fixed fire down at the base and the mutable water at the top. And this is where you need to play in. Usually you have to play with the emotional side of life. And I don't mean play with people's emotions. That's not what I mean. I mean sort of like, have a certain give and take within your emotions and within the emotional world that is around you in order to get things done, in order to be absolutely clear for you, the sort of plan and what is going on in life, basically. You have this cardinal earth and cardinal water. Now that comes from your neighbor, Capricorn. I'm Capricorn. And you know, Capricorn is also got 2/3 earth and 1/3 water. And, you know, it comes out the emotional side, but it actually sort of goes into the material side. So it's almost as like saying, well, I want to live through my emotions and my relationships and my personal life. It has to be also driven within the financial side. So I've got enough finances in order to do what I wish to do and to be with who I wish to be, that sort of thing. On your financial side, similar sort of thing going on here. We've got a bit more air. This time here, we've got air rather than fire at your base here, and a little less in the way of fire, because that's that fire that comes up in here. It's all mutable, and it does that transition between the two. And this time here, we've got that cardinal earth that we talked about a second ago at the top from Capricorn, which helps you to get things done. And then you have that fixed air from Scorpio at your base. So it should be from a very logical position or standpoint that you attack your career, your business, your projects, whatever it is. It comes from a very clear, logical sort of base, as it were. There is one thing I will say, and it's certainly on this side, and it's going to be more noticeable once we bring in the elements of Taurus, is that combination of water and fire, water and fire. And we have it at this crossing point, which is down here, which is here, which is connecting your past to your future. Now, water and fire obviously doesn't really go well together in most sense, in a direct sense, as it were, in the way of elements. But at the same time, if you want to make a cup of tea, you've got to boil that water. Therefore, you need the fire, and you need your passions and your emotions to be driving in the same direction. When you do have that aspect of it all, think of saunas, think of nice, beautiful, Caribbean beaches with lovely warm waters and so forth. That's the sort of thing that you should be sort of trying to provoke from within you and your standpoint within you, so then it can be produced logically within your world around you through that sort of fixed air. Okay, so let's just bring in sort of Taurus. So here we go. There's Taurus. I've got to redo the flowers because some of these you can't really see. So, for example, here you can't really see. You've got this mutable water that comes in from a pure sign of, because you've got two pure signs inside your flower. This mutable water that comes in from Pisces, and that is being mixed with air and fire from Gemini as it comes through the Taurus side here. What you will notice and be able to see a lot more clearer is this sort of fire and water aspect here. So the water comes in from Cancer in Taurus, but it's playing upon your fire, your direction, your directional passion. And this is giving a focal point. This will help you to give a focal point to your emotions in accordance to your passions. And then on the outside, Taurus has earth and fire. So with your air, you have earth, and earth tends to consume air. And then obviously at your base, you have water, and Taurus has fire. So fire will evaporate water sometimes. So there could be complications and trying sort of times, which is typical for air signs in earth signs when you're going through an earth sign. So that's true for Virgo and for times of Virgo and times of Capricorn. It can be quite tricky for you. But in general, by looking at what I've been seeing in your Astroflower readings, in the tarot readings over the past year, seems like you've got a grip on what you want, and it becomes very clear on how you act upon life and instigate this within your life. And it seems very clear to you. And if that is true, then these opposites can be a real driving force to get things done, as much as it can be a driving force for it to be destructive. So, I would be very conscious about that within you. You can see these opposite signs all over the place. You've got that mutable fire that comes in from Sagittarius within your sign, but in Taurus you have the mutable water that comes in on this side here. So you have fire and water again. So it risks to be a very, very passionate next 3 weeks for you. And certainly if you've got a direction in particular, it should be very sort of productive in that sort of sense, but really tonic. Okay, but anyway, let's see what's going on for the overall. Let's see what for the reading is. So we got the overall energies here, the karmic message for your relationship side, karmic message for your financial side, influence from the universe, influence from past self, influence from future self, general outcome. Okay, let's just see what's going on for you. I hope you have a lovely reading. Okay, so up the top here, it's not too bad because you've got fire and earth. The fire is coming in from Taurus and the earth is coming for you. On this side here, you do have water and air, but it's at the base where you've got that fire and earth as well. So this side of things here, you will find you have enough energy to deal with any situation on your relationship side. Staying power, basically. So if you do have to, defend your position, you've got enough to, to do a long haul, as it were. I don't think necessarily that's what I'm getting off of this card, but it could be for some of you. On your financial sort of side, this is where you get sort of like the air and water, and the air and water at the top, or the fire and water at the top, sorry. And with this air and water at the base and air and water at the top. Or is it double water? Is it air and air? It's your water and what's Taurus got? Sorry, I do apologize. Air and water. It's repleting both sides. So coming from sort of like on your financial side, you have got to drive the ideas to be the best example of yourself. And I think this is where you can use your emotions to avoid confrontation when you do be the best example of yourself more than anything else. And I think it's a little bit clearer for you on your relationship side as it is on your financial side. And it could well be that you need to do a little bit more sort of logical thinking at the base and emotional output from that logic in order to get the best out of your financial career. On your relationship side, on your karmic message, you get the 9 of Pentacles. Yeah, this is good. I think this is what you're going after here is sort of the perpetual sort of results of applying yourself in life and going after what you want. And I think if you do go after what you want, this is where I think you're going to get a lot of little rewards along the way. And with those little rewards along the way, it makes for big rewards in a way. I always sort of say happiness is a state of being. But that state of being is built upon a multitude of moments of joy. And that's what this seems like here. It seems like you're really cultivating your happiness from the grassroots and you're getting the backing of life and your karma itself. On your connection to the universe, you get the 7 of Wands, sorry. A revelation, and I think is a revelation in accordance to the 5 of Wands. You're realizing what you need to go after. And yes, as I said, you may have to defend it, but the best way to actually defend it is by going ahead and walking your path. But you do get this confrontational sort of water fire aspect, and they're both fixed on the outside. So it may be you need to stand firm. And I think this is where the universe is saying to you, and this is where the fixed energy comes into play, and it plays really well into your court. You've got to be firm and clear about your position, and I wouldn't move from it. That's the defense that you need to do in accordance to relationships that are around you. Connecting the past, this is the advice from your past self. You get the 9 of Wands. There's nothing but wands here. This is connecting all about your fire here, which is really interesting. With the 9 of Wands, it's all about curiosity. You've got 2 9s on here as well, which I've just realized as well. Kingpin numbers, and this ties into the recognition or the realization of the 7 of Wands. From your past self, you've done a lot of exploring of positioning in according to, this is what I'm getting, in according to relationships that are around you. And you now know within yourself how this works. And it's a case of taking that understanding that you've been doing for some time and putting it into practice. And knowing the pitfalls so you don't go back on yourself and you don't get caught up in situations that are just, don't really help you out more than anything else. I think that's what that is all about. But a lot of it is, or a lot of signs has been to do with fire and wands and passionate relationships at the moment. What is the general outcome? This is your future self and how you're egging yourself on. 7 of Cups, revelation, realizing what you should be doing, revealing to you. I think in the future sign, and I think once you come into Gemini, I think this is where you're going to be really rocking. The 7 of Cups is a realization of that pathway that I said is the best thing to do is to follow that pathway so you don't necessarily have to defend it. And then you've got the 7 of Cups here. It's just showing you where the good stuff is, where you should be going. It's like what I say, the evident path is the 7 of Cups. It shows you the evident path. There's no real choices in the evident path. There's loads of possibilities in life. Once you look at all those possibilities, you're going to turn around and sort of say, oh, well, it's evident that I should be doing that. And I would go ahead and do it if I was you. Outcome. Look at this. Outcome is the 7 of Pentacles. Wow. 5 is all about a transition. And in that transition, and this is, you get the 3 7s here. Lucky you. This is all about luck. And within your relationship side, I think there was a lot of luck coming your way. The 7 of Pentacles is you're now knowing what, out of this exploration and exploring those sort of beautiful seeds that you're going to be planting along the way, and converting your understanding of the past and your positioning in order to get the best out of the future. This is where you're realizing which relationships are constructive, creative, rather than destructive. And I think that is what the overall energy is now asking you to do, to sort of like be the best example of yourself and just be really in tune with yourself and get the best out of it more than anything else. On your financial side, you get the 4 of Wands, more wands. Even that 7 of Wands, 7 of Pentacles, he's even leaning on on a wand, as it were, and it's leaning on your passion there on that side. On your financial side, you get the 4 of Wands. Now, this is in an agreement with yourself. And it seems to be in an agreement or a it's an agreement between your mind and your emotions. That's what it seems to be playing out more than anything else on that side. And I think it allows you to sort of adjust your passions, of how you apply your passions within your financial world in order to get the best out of it more than anything else. But there seems to be sort of, it's on your karmic path here to really step into a new dimension. It could be a new job, it could be a new business or project, or combination between you and another person. It's definitely a plan for you of going forward. The universe here, well, this is interesting. The universe here is you've got that earth and you've got that fire and water in this section here, and that water and air, and you get the water and fire, you know, you might, and it's all fixed, you might have felt yourself, and the universe here is sort of saying the entrappings of your expectations. This is what I'm getting. The trappings of your expectations can sometimes stop you from experimenting and actually getting the best out of life. And I think here is like the universe here is trying to help you to break free from your own restrictions that you place upon yourself. Yeah. You know, you've got the wands again. Look how many wands there are. It's mad. It's quite a few. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of 10 so far. You've got the Ace of Wands. Yes, I think you've had a lot of success. I think you've changed a lot of things. You've obviously approaching life in a very different and passionate way, out with the old and in with the new. And I think this is where you have engaged in your career path or your business in a much more sort of beautiful way. And it does come out. This is where you break yourself free. There seems to be an offering, a massive offering, where you break yourself free. The moment you break yourself free, look at that. That is what life is really offering you. And it is just absolutely brilliant. You got 2 aces, very, very fulfilling, and the 4 of Wands. Now, you get that fire there, that mutable fire that goes between yourself and that water, and that really makes a focal point for those emotions. So you've got this fire and water. It is now saying to you, Aquarius, on this side here, now is the time to step forward and make that transition from an opportunity that has been within your life to actually start capitalizing on it and giving a real focal point for your emotions and your passionate drives within your business and your career path. Go on, look at that at the top of the pile. Look at that on your financial side. That is just, it is just absolutely brilliant. There is definitely, if you're looking for a job, this next 3 weeks here, right, if you're very clear with yourself and you're very clear with what you want, and you emotionally put yourself in a position where it's very precise of your application of your passions and your emotions, you're going to get some good results. You're going to get some very beautiful results, Aquarius. Really good results. Yeah, very, very good results. You got the Judgment at the top. Sorry, that's the the trumpet that's calling you. And this is where I think this fire and earth finally works in your favor in a very, very good way. In the relationship side, it works in the favor that you see what works for you and what is worth, cultivating in the regards to relationships. And that gives you that sort of, fixed earth that comes in from Taurus, and that fixed air that is within you. What it does is, with that Judgment card there, it makes the proposition very sturdy, very well organized, very well written out, very squared off. You know where you're going with this offer. It's a beautiful offering for you. Look at that. After difficulty, happiness. Being the best example of yourself. Maybe it's a case here of avoiding that sort of confrontation, I think, more than anything else. And I think that the best way to avoid it is just for you to be you in a way, following on your own path. And I think this is what this is all about. You can see on this card here, this person here is taking 1 wand away from that group of 5 of wands and leaving 4 wands behind that. But look how chaotic that past is. And you're leaving it behind because you're going to be the best example of yourself. And I think that works beautifully on both sides, on your relationship side as much as on your financial side. With the 9 of Pentacles, let's see what's going on for you there. 9 of Pentacles, you get the Page of Wands. As I said, it's all about the fire. And I think this is on your karmic path here. In order for those realizations to come forth and come to fruition, you do need to play a little bit with your passions and experiment a little bit. But that's within your life, and experiment in regards to sort of seeing the good sort of relationships, the creative relationships that are around you, and it's going to force you into, well, not force you, but open that door to the evident path of satisfying and rewarding relationships. Yeah, it's seven of wands. I think if you do stick true to yourself, sort of saying, having those healthy boundaries, which we see there from the past, and if you learn from that and actually go on your path, I think you're going to it's going to be a lot more sort of sociable. There's a degree of celebration. There's a degree of kind of going, it's good to be amongst my friends, or it's good to be amongst my family. And it's, it's almost organizing, barbecues or whatever to try and bring people together. I think there's a certain degree of, or helping out with something. So, a Sunday picnic can go well for your friends and your family together as you go out for a walk and stuff like that. I think there's a degree of that. But having a little bit on your terms, I think, is important. And you get the Page of Swords with the Nine of Wands, healthy boundaries, experimentation. And the Page of Swords is about that. It's bringing forth a lot of ideas that you need to convert to reality. And it's all about the surface here, I think. It's all about that combination between your fixed air and the fixed earth of Taurus. And I think that's giving you a very sort of clear, stable foundation for a lot of relationships going forward. I think this is a warning card more than anything else, because I can't see it from anywhere else. And I think if you don't follow your path, if you don't honor your own spirit, if you don't honor your own emotions, I think you may have problems, because you'll be pandering to someone else. It won't sit well with you in the future, and it will not be comfortable for them, and it won't be comfortable for you. Here, I think, is saying the evident path here of knowing which cup is giving you the good stuff is not built upon necessarily upon it. It's not an emotional decision here. It's a logical decision. And love is actually incredibly logical. It's not just a feeling love. It's also a love is also a fair exchange, a respect between one another. And once you get that within you, I think you're saying goodbye by walking towards something that's good for you. You're saying goodbye to all heartache in the future. Yeah, and you're heading for the ultimate dream and ambition in regards to your relationships. It bodes very well, certainly with the 2 pages there, with the 2 nines. And here with this 7, you get the star cards. So I think you're going to notice the fruits that are going to make you dream of the stars, that reach for the stars, as it were, within the world that is around you. I think that bodes very well for your future, and it helps you to be very selective about what you're putting out there and what you're getting back in, basically. Let's see what's going on with the 4 of my most favorite card, the Hierophant. Knowing the steps you need to take in order to get to the results you want. And with this sort of water and air and fire that's going on in your life here, I think there's a good combination with the mixture of water and air that's going in your life. I think there's a good combination to see very clearly the steps you need to take in order to get towards this Ace of Cups and this judgment within your financial world. If you want the best out of it, and I think that's where you're going to set yourself free, you've got to take steps towards it. And I think this is what's on your karmic path this month in order to do that. 8 of Swords with the 8 of Swords. Yeah, the universe is setting you free. It really is setting you free. And it comes from being a little bit too, your expectations may have been out of whack about according to what you could have received. And that's what caused the sensation of feeling trapped. Now that's coming to an end, obviously, because the universe is sort of saying, no, that's got to end. You've got to free yourself up. You've got to go after what you want. And yeah, six of wands with the ace of wands. You know, this is happiness after difficulty. This is amazing what's going on your financial side. There is no doubt about it. And I do believe it has a lot to do with that earth and air, but also mixing that sort of fire into your world and bringing it forward with that cardinal earth and fire at the top. Yeah, definite success. I think you've already experienced this success, and that is the out with the old and in with the new, and it's making you very passionate about where you're going. And now you're starting to apply your emotions in it. You know, you look at this card here. There's no water at the bottom of the feet of this person here, and that's freedom. Look at all that water at the base of that cup. It's overflowing. And this is what's going to free you up financially, emotionally, passionately. Everything's going to be seven of cups, like on the other side. Seven of cups. The evident path. There's only one cup there that's giving you the water, giving you the good stuff. And it is that cup there. And it is, I think that cup there is part of that 10 of cups, of that happiness after difficulty. You're coming through something, and you're really, because you're stepping into what you should be doing. That's what it seems like in this next sort of 3 weeks. And you get the moon. A lot of people have had the moon. Yeah, I think this offering of a job, business, or project may come a little bit out of left field, maybe a bit of a surprise for you more than anything else. But at the same time, it's because it's bringing a lot of things to the surface because you're going after it. And it's like you're walking through a forest and you're going after something. It's obviously you're going to have squirrels, birds running all over the place, trying to get out your way because they're not, you know. And I think this is a little bit like that. As you go forward for what you want, it's making things move around you, and that's what's creating that movement, and that's what's creating that sort of result with those two aces that on your financial side. There you go, Aquarius. Thank you very much for being here. Really do appreciate it. We've got a lot of stuff going on at Cymatic TV as well, our channel all about energy. You'll find that linked around about the top of my head. I will see you for next week's weekly or your dailies on the shorts, whatever it is. If I see you over on Cymatic or on here, it'd be lovely to see you again. In the meantime, don't forget, life should be fun, so please do enjoy.